Conversations. I'm Robin, your host. Today we are welcoming Mr. Wendell Maddox, CEO and President of the United Way of Wyandotte County, and we also welcome Howie Olson, who is the Senior Vice President of the United Way of Wyandotte County. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you for having us. Good to see you.
Well, this year's Wyandotte County United Way kickoff was a huge success. And you revealed what this year's total would be.
Yes.
And can you tell us what that is?
Yes, it's $2,147,000.
Okay. Significant amount?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
However, we have raised more in the past. We're sort of rebounding from the downturn in the economy that occurred back in 2007, 2008. Prior to that, we were nearly at $3 million. So we're starting to rebound. Companies are starting to turn the corner now and starting to do better with their campaigns and making stronger commitments. So we feel that we'll do well in making this goal and probably do a little better.
Right. Last year's goal was a little over $2 million.
Yeah, the actual goal last year was $2,073,000, and actually we far exceeded the goal with the campaign, but also with the new special event we did with Ed Asner last summer, or this past summer. So our total that we actually brought in last year ended up being $2,153,000, so significantly higher than the goal.
Let's talk about last year's campaign with Ed Asner and how successful it was. How did you come up with adding him in?
Yeah, well, it was my second campaign. In the first year, we didn't have an honorary chairperson. We just had, board members and other people in the community helping out with the campaign, but came up with the idea of, bringing in an honorary chairperson. You see that with a lot of nonprofits and fundraising activities. So I kind of looked at the list of who was famous from Wyandotte County and kind of, did some research, and obviously Ed is one of the most famous individuals from Wyandotte County. So we reached out to Ed through his, the people that manage his career and manage his life, and reached out to him and got a quick response that he was willing to do it. So he agreed to be our honorary chair. He was very busy at the time. He turns 84 this November. Wow. So he was, 82 and 83 during last year's campaign, but he was very busy actually doing a show on Broadway in New York with Paul Rudd, another famous Kansas Cityan, and so he couldn't be in person with anything else during the fall campaign, but he was in our campaign video, and we involved him, his photo and his signature on letters, and he supported the campaign, but he couldn't be there in person. And so when we got through the fall campaign, we had a successful fall, but we wanted to add a special event to, not only achieve our goal, but to beat our goal. And so we knew that Ed had been traveling the country doing a one-man show as FDR. And so we asked him if he would do that show for us here in Wyandotte County and actually do it at his alma mater, which is Wyandotte High School. And so he agreed to do that. And so on June 29th, we did that event at Wyandotte High School and had a little over 1,200 people attend the event. And the event raised approximately $35,000,
wow.
Which was a new special event that we haven't done a large special event like that in a while. So
very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Very supportive and very giving of Kansas City, Kansas. How did the crowd receive him? I mean, were
they
totally
loved
excited?
Him. Yeah, I mean, they loved him. Basically, again, it's a one-man show, and he's up there for, gosh, it ended up being over 2 hours. I think it was actually longer than we had anticipated it would be. So he might have given us a little special performance since it was his hometown and his alma mater, but it was actually a little over 2 hours. But again, we had a great crowd. For folks who haven't been to that auditorium or the school, I mean, it's a beautiful facility, and it was actually what worked out really neat. It was actually built during FDR's presidency,
okay,
as part of the the project putting Americans to work during the Depression. And so Ed was playing FDR, at a school that was built during FDR's presidency. But the show was great. Everybody that I've talked to really enjoyed it. We did a reception afterwards for the VIPs sponsors and other people who had bought VIP packages, so they got a chance to talk to Ed, take their photo with him, and he was very gracious and stayed and took photos with everybody who wanted one, and people, you know, I think it was really a memorable evening
Real
for
excited.
everybody who was there.
That's
he
wonderful.
really got a kick out of that, the reception.
He did.
But Howie and his staff did a tremendous job in putting on that event. It was so successful. We've had other organizations asking us how we did it, and,
Right.
and we're trying to, you know, advise other agencies how to put on events like this. But for us to be so successful with this, we're going to continue to put on events such as this.
And we have lots of local celebrities.
Yeah,
We
we're looking to
do.
do something, you know, later on, probably in the spring of 14, we'll be doing another special event. I'm waiting to see what Howie comes up with.
Okay. Well, we're going to bring up another special celebrity, but I want to talk about this year's kickoff that was held down at the UAW, I believe. Tell us, how did you pick that location?
Yeah, well, you know, again, this is just my third campaign. In the first 2 years I've been here, the first year we did our kickoff at Livestrong, well, not Livestrong, I guess Sporting Park. Now it was Livestrong at the time, but you know, that was a new stadium, and so we thought that would be a fun place to do it. People hadn't had the chance to see the stadium yet, so we did it there last year, or 2 years ago, and then last year we did it at Wyandotte High School with Ed as our honorary chairperson. We actually did it at the auditorium and showed the movie Up, which was a movie that Ed was the voice of the main character. And then this year, when I started talking to Wendell about where we wanted to do it, in the past, before I was here, we had done it at the UAW Hall in the past. Obviously, the UAW and the General Motors plant are our largest supporter here in Wyandotte County. So we decided it was a good time to go back there, and it actually worked out very well. It just kind of, everything kind of fell in place because our honorary chairperson this year is Daryl Stuckey, who played football at Wyandotte High School and other sports, started at KU, and now plays for the San Diego Chargers. And so when we knew Daryl was our honorary chairperson and we were thinking about kind of what theme we would have for this year's campaign, we came up with a sports theme because of Daryl's career. And the UAW Hall, where we're having the event, where we had the event, is basically a gymnasium.
Okay.
And so it really worked out well to go with the whole sports theme, to be in a gym, you know, with Daryl as the honorary chair. And so it just kind of all tied in together.
How did you come up with Daryl?
Well, again, just kind of thinking, you know, who kind of was, you know, people who had made it big from Wyandotte County, and we had gone with an actor, you know, in the entertainment industry, and so, you know, thought of some athletes, and obviously, you know, he's one that's having success right now.
Right.
Also, kind of, you know, reaching out to a different generation. I mean, you know, when Ed was our chairperson, I mean, most people know who Ed Asner is, but
Right.
you know, younger adults or kids don't really know most of Ed's career. They remember him for his more recent stuff, but don't know about, you know, Mary Tyler Moore and,
Right.
and the Lou Grant show and stuff. So with Daryl, it was kind of reaching out to, you know, people who maybe aren't currently involved with United Way, and a way to get them introduced to it, to somebody who, you know, was more recently, you know,
Okay.
kind of a local celebrity. Yeah.
We have some footage of Daryl, and we're going to watch that right now, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back.
All
So
right.
let's look at Daryl Stuckey.
Hi, I'm Daryl Stuckey. I was born and raised in Wyandotte County. I attended Stony Point North Elementary and Arrowhead Middle School. Graduating from Washington High School in 2005, go Wildcats. I continued my education and football career at the University of Kansas, graduating in 2009. From there, I went on to the NFL to play for the San Diego Chargers, where I'm currently the special teams captain. I am also very proud to be the honorary chairperson of the 2013 United Way of Wyandotte County campaign. I hear that Ed Asner from Wyandotte High School was the chair last year. While Ed did play ball for the Bulldogs, I didn't have a chance to play against him because he graduated 40 years before I was even born. It is an honor to follow Mr. Asner's footsteps as honorary chairperson. He is a true legend from Wyandotte County. While I am just in my 4th year in the NFL and not too removed from the days growing up in the dot. 100% of your pledge to United Way of Wyandotte County supports programs in Wyandotte County in one of 3 areas: meeting basic needs, nurturing children and families, and promoting health and quality of life.
Last year, over 33,000 basic needs were met in Wyandotte County by 8 local agencies. Over 5,000 of those needs were met at Bethel Neighborhood Center, where elderly clients receive emergency assistance, home repairs, cleaning services, and support through referrals and advocacy.
Everything started when we came back from Denver. With John's dad, we celebrated his first birthday. His dad returned to Denver, and 2 weeks later, John's dad dies, and everything falls apart. And we started seeing John's behavior being very hyper with his brother and aggressive towards him. And that's when I went to Wyandotte Center to ask for help. With time, when he was 3, he continued with his hyperness, and the psychologist recommended that I take him to El Centro before giving medication to him. After coming to El Centro, he has changed a lot, his way, and he has been less hyper, and he has changed a lot of his aggressiveness.
My name is Jean Webb. Duchesne has been a life-saving place. When you have no one to turn to, they give you the answers. They give you the access to the doctors that you need for whatever is bothering you, whatever's wrong with you, on all levels. They have no boundaries. At least they never displayed any to me. Whatever I needed, they found a way. The facility is, everybody in this facility is here for you.
Here is my promise to United Way of Wyandotte County and my asking of you. I promise to live united, support United Way by giving, advocating, and volunteering. While I commit to doing all 3, including an annual pledge from Lacey, Jayton, and me, I ask that you do at least one of the 3 to support the community where you work and may also live. Lacey, Jayton, and I are honored to have this chance to help the kids who are now in the same classrooms and ball fields where I spent my childhood. Thank you for joining us as we live united for Wyandotte County.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I am Robin, and we're here with the fellows from the United Way of Wyandotte County. We just saw the footage of Daryl Stuckey and all 3 of his jerseys. How special is that to have someone come back, show where they're coming from, and be able to commit, he and his family commit to giving to the United Way of Wyandotte County.
Well, I think it's extremely special.
And it says a lot about.
Yeah. He not only made a commitment to come back and be our honorary chair and do this video, he's also made a financial commitment, which was really special and something that we didn't expect, but certainly grateful that he did it. But most of the communication with Daryl and getting this set up was handled by Howie, and you know, I'll let Howie, ask Howie to talk more about how he did arrange that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I thought about Daryl, and so I reached out to some people that I that had connections with Daryl from his time at KU, where he was a football star on the KU team, and so they put me in touch with Daryl, and it was actually basically the initial communication was with his wife, Lacey, who also went to KU, and her brother was is Tyrell Reed, who played on the basketball team at KU. So, so through Lacey, kind of started the communication, and she, you know, it wasn't a yes right away because they did want to really find out what it meant to be on honorary chair. He didn't want to just say yes to it if he couldn't do it the right way. I mean, he wanted to be able to give 100%. So, you know, we had a number of communications, mostly by email, and I kind of filled her in on what it would mean. And like Wendell said, before they even committed to do the honorary chair, they made a financial contribution to our campaign last year and have agreed to continue doing that moving forward. So, so you know, they really gave it a lot of thought before they said yes, and I appreciate that. I mean, if somebody just says yes, then you kind of question, are they going to really do what you want them to do? So, so they said yes. Like with Ed, you know, as I mentioned earlier, we won't have access to Daryl much during our campaign, since most of our campaign is in the fall, and he'll be very busy playing for the San Diego Chargers again this year, so it's a pretty busy time of year for him. But you know, he's in the video that you guys that we just saw. You know, he's agreed obviously to put his name on stuff. He's in our campaign brochure, so we'll get his name and image out there as much as possible.
And he also committed to a football camp, right?
Well, yeah, he did a football camp, right? Yeah, so that was he did that over the summer as well. So that's a football camp that he did for the first time this year at Bishop Ward. Again, he went to Washington, but they did the camp at Bishop Ward, and I was out of town when the camp was held, but I know some folks from the college were out there, and Joy Richardson from our staff went out and got to take some photos with some kids. So actually, the front of our campaign brochure is Daryl in a Live United t-shirt with some kids actually lined up like an offensive line in a football game.
I saw that.
So,
yeah, so he really is committed to this cause, and the begs the question, can we all be committed to helping the United Way of Wyandotte County? And with the campaign going on now, there's an opportunity for everyone to get involved. Not only get involved with contributing financial, you know, help, but also through volunteerism.
Right. Well, we have a tagline of either advocating or giving or volunteering in the community to support the work that goes on in our community. It's we have a lot of people in our community that have suffered the hardship from the downturn in the economy, and both in terms of health and both in terms of their economic situation. And we're trying to do all we can in instituting programs with our agencies to really help people out. But it takes money, and it takes a lot of money, and we hope that people will realize that there are folks in our community who need their help, and give more.
And it affects the whole community.
Yes, it does.
The well-being and everything.
It does.
So, I want to talk about the $144. The significance of $144 and how that breaks down to $12 a month, $3 a week. It sounds simple.
Well, it's the Caring Club amount, and we ask people at the very least, please give at the Caring Club level, which is $144 annually. If you're doing payroll deductions, it will be like $12 a month.
Right.
But with that Caring Club, it comes with a lot of benefits. We have, I don't know how many businesses do we have that give discounts. If you have a Caring Club card, you know, it's Pizza Hut, you can get all changes, theater, discounts at theaters.
We're going to come back with all of that in just a minute. Let's take a break, because I do want to find out more about this Caring Club, okay? All right. We'll be right back with conversations in just a moment.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, and welcome back to Conversations. I'm Robin, and we're here with the gentlemen of the United Way campaign of Wyandotte County. So we finished off by talking about the Caring Club.
Right.
Let's continue on with the benefits.
Well, you know, the Caring Club has, a number of merchants who give discounts for this Caring Club. And, you know, there are some people I've heard that can actually get enough benefits and discounts to actually get more out of the card that they actually donated, that $144.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very good benefit. It's an outstanding opportunity for people to both contribute to the United Way and support the community, but have some benefits for themselves and their families where they get discounts on merchandise and services in the community. In greater Kansas City, it's not just Wyandotte County, but it's greater Kansas City.
You know, I read on the website a long list of things that $144 can take care of, and I mean, my heart just melted.
Right.
Because we're talking about things, mattresses for kids to sleep on at night, and medical expenses being taken care of for those who have enormous amounts to pay for prescription medications. Why is it so hard for some to give? And I know that's kind of a iffy question, but
yeah, you know, I mean, obviously Kansas City is a very giving community,
It is.
and you know, I think you know, one thing is there's other obviously great causes out there too. So you know, it's not if they're not giving to us, a lot of those people are giving to other organizations. And you know, our answer when we talk to people who are deciding on where they're going to give their funds, because everybody's on a budget and you know can only give so much. What we like to bring up is that by giving to United Way, you're funding multiple agencies. So you know, somebody maybe has 10 different causes that they believe in, you know, and some of them fall under the United Way umbrella. They can fund multiple organizations by giving to United Way, and if they're doing it through their workplace, they have the benefit of doing that through payroll deduction.
Right.
So they don't have to write, you know, if they want to give $1,000 during the year, they don't have to write a $1,000 check to a certain organization. They can do that through their payroll and get that taken out, you know, every couple weeks or monthly, however their company does it. So it's a way for them to spread out a gift and again support multiple organizations, because we currently fund 34 agencies, you know, in Wyandotte County alone that are doing work in 3 focus areas, and so you're able to, you know, help the entire community rather than just one organization.
Right.
Again, there's, you know, hundreds of great nonprofits out there, but again, we've got, you know, 34 specific ones that are helping folks throughout Wyandotte County, and so our ask of people is to consider United Way as one of their giving options, and by giving to United Way, you're supporting multiple organizations with your one gift.
I've always compared it to an investment portfolio, so people understand that when they're investing, they have a portfolio of investments they make. It's the same thing when you, just like Howie said, when you invest in the United Way Community Care, you're supporting several different agencies: Boys and Girls Clubs, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Catholic Charities, you know, on and on and on, whether it's senior services, services for young adults, services for children. We have a wide variety of agencies that are going to support those different communities.
And the list of agencies is on the website, right?
Right.
And that website address is
UnitedWay-YCO.org.
Okay.
O-R-G. Yeah.
Yeah, for a list of the organizations that you do. There are a couple that I want to ask about. One, the Turner House and the Duchesne Clinic, still doing very successful checkups and well-being for the community, adults and children, right?
Right. Duchesne is specifically focused on adults, so it's primarily set up for adults who don't have health insurance or have very little health insurance, not enough to meet their needs. And then Turner House is specific to children. So it's a Turner House Children's Clinic. So between the two clinics, and they have a great relationship with each other as well. We have a lunch every couple months for the executive directors of all of our agencies, and the executive directors of those two organizations regularly attend that lunch. And the purpose of that lunch is to let our organizations interact with each other and get to know each other, share ideas, discuss issues, how they can work together, how they can collaborate, maybe do joint programs and joint efforts. And so those two specifically are two that have a very strong relationship, where the executive directors are in constant contact with each other, the staffs are in communication with each other, so they're making sure that they're helping each other out and referring. So if an adult ends up at the Turner House and that's not really where they're supposed to be, they'll obviously refer them to Duchesne, and then vice versa with children. So.
Okay, and you have one service that's going to be added to the Turner House. Would that be the dental care?
Yeah, Turner House. I mean, I was at an open house, I guess it was over the summer, probably early summer, and they did a tour of the facility. I'd been out there before, but they did an open house for the community and showed us everything that was going on, and one of the things they focused on was the new dental clinic that they're going to have there.
Wonderful,
yes.
Wonderful. I mean, you have exciting things going on in the United Way, and this year's campaign kickoff was a success, and of course we're going to all get together and help you guys make and meet your goal, and hopefully exceed your goal, because we want these services to continue to help our community.
Well, we ask the community, whether you can give at your workplace. You can also give directly to United Way. Okay. So you just don't have to wait till you have a campaign.
Right.
So, in fact, some businesses don't run internal campaigns, so therefore, if there are people out there that want to give to United Way, you can give directly to us.
Okay.
And you probably put our address up where they can send their contributions.
And also, if they want to volunteer,
yes,
please visit the website for more information on the Wyandotte County United Way and help our families, help our communities.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for both being here today.
Wow,
I truly enjoyed the information, and of course we'll have you back on, and we'll see how everything goes.
Went by fast. Thanks
it
a lot.
It did. You're welcome. And we'll see you next time on Conversations.